Perhaps you think it too late for me to bring you a tale of haunting, of terror. Perhaps. But I come to you with a time-honored tale of an old man. Alone. Well, mostly alone by choice since the death of his best friend 7 years ago. Oh, he did not lack for money, and he had his business. It gave him purpose. And it was a day like any other. A day afterwards where he locked up the office. The chill air whipped at his flesh. He paid it little mind. He went to his large house and stayed in a small room. But it was on this night he would be haunted. Haunted by spirits who would show him his own demise. Wait, hold up.
You know this one? Yeah, we would. Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is a classic and has been since the 1850s. Well, even earlier, slightly earlier than that. There's another part of this, though. I bring this to you just after Halloween. Yes, I know the timing seems off. Because when I was young, I learned that Halloween, or the reason that we dressed up, was because the veil between worlds was thinnest. And it was at this time that all manner of spirit and spite, with malicious intent, would come upon us. They would enter our world, and they would try to play tricks on us, and find their way in. In order to prevent this, we would dress up as they, with their spooky appearances. We would dress up as all manner of creature and crazed thing, spirit or not. And we would drive them off, or at least let them think that this area was already taken, and that there was nothing for them here. And this is why we would go and haunt our friends and neighbors. And in the most basic tradition of hospitality and civility, sure, our neighbors would give us little treats. Oh, thank you for stopping by. This was common. This was when communities were closer and towns were smaller and everybody was in on it. It was a night for superstition. It's also Samhain, a major marker, the year end for the pagan calendar. So, in the interests of chasing off ghosts, or spirits, and all things spiteful and malicious, so too does Scrooge try to chase off the ghosts who come to him and show him what they do. Now, what Scrooge got thrown headlong into, with no choice of his own, was basically a fearless life inventory. He was made to look back on where he came from, how he was perceived outside of himself now, and where this tale would likely wind him up, or where he would likely wind up. So he saw his own demise, and it was lonely. Now, that is a terrifying story when you really get down to it. But we can take on these kind of very deep life inventories on our own. And a lot of people don't, because it's uncomfortable, because it challenges our ego, and our ego is a big part of it. So in challenging our ego, yes, most people will kind of portray themselves as nicer, kinder, gentler. We tend to kind of gloss over the things that we don't want to think about or find unpleasant. But rather than chasing them off, I think, and I actually do this, we have to be willing to let our ego take a couple of hits, a little tough love for our ego, to allow ourselves to see ourselves in the perspective of a larger life. That this lie we've been sold, this myth that we have to be strong, independent, self-sufficient, that we must do it on our own, I'm going to call bullshit. We can't. We as humans are designed to work together. We are social creatures to a great extent. And as part of this, part of the benefit of doing one of these fearless life inventories, of setting the ego aside and looking at it, is yes, we expose our frailties and our vulnerabilities, and it is uncomfortable. So what do we get for doing so? A strange sense of true strength, of our place, of what we can bring the world. We get to see that we are connected and that our place here makes a difference, because we all make a difference. And Jane Goodall's quote of "what you do makes a difference. You just have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." So all of that to say that aside from a Christmas haunting story and, chasing ghosts off, but not just doing it for ourselves, but connecting with our friends and family and neighbors and branching out, finding within ourselves what's special, who we are, what we stand for, what do we want, and who do we want to be, more importantly. And after all this, after all of this, then we can look and find that special something that we love, a way we help, a way we can help where few others can. And that gives us purpose. It gives us a place. It allows us to stand out and be counted, not because we demand it, but because it fits. If you're not sure how you fit right now, if a life inventory is kind of daunting, or something that you're not sure, or something that you want to explore, hi, my name is Richard Struther. I am the Widower's Wingman, and I help those who have lost find the most incredible relationships for who you are now. But first, we have to find out who you are now. You can reach me at thewidowerswingman.com. There you can book a free call. It says 45 minutes. I'm not like that. We're going to take the time to do it right, because I really do want to meet you guys, see where you're at, and see where I can help, what resources you need to get to where you want to get to. And if I'm that resource, great. If not, I'm going to make sure that you get there. I'll check in. I really do want to help. Like and subscribe if you want, but far more important, if you know somebody who's kind of struggling and could use a hand, please share this video. It's only useful if it gets into the hands of the people who need to see it. I will see you guys in the next video if I don't get the privilege of meeting you first.